everyone, I'm Afro Dominican 79.
This is Uptown Beauty.
And I'm Bonnie 3000.
And this video is exclusively for the Patreon page.
So in this video we're going to touch on a topic that may be sensitive to some, but a reality to those that have lived it. And we're going to touch on a topic about being an Afro Latino. Being an Afro Latino in America, at the beginning of the journey was a bit challenging because although we have our fellow African Americans that do look like us and are pretty much made up of the same DNA makeup, there's a lot of differences as far as the culture, music, and pretty much where we come from.
But at the end of the day, you know, we all have the same Afro descendancy. We're pretty much the same.
So my experience with being an Afro Latina here in the US was a little bit of a culture shock, at least for me. I'm talking about from my personal experience. I am a full Dominican. I was born in the Dominican Republic, but I mean, physically, I don't even know how you might look at me. I always got, you know, I look like a mixed baby, yeah. But I am Afro Latina. Like, my grandparents are like interracial couples, I guess you can say that, right?
Yes.
We ladies say that back at home there's more division than there is here, or you know, because for me, I feel like, you know, with all this racism and stuff like that, I experienced it more here. I can say that my family is very interracial. Everybody's like really mixed. So we have uncles that are like really dark, and then we have family members that are
we call
like
it the sancocho, you know?
and we don't, I mean, I personally do not care about it, you know.
Right.
For me, it's like, oh, it's like normal, you know, but I don't know why it's like a big deal that we are Afro Latinas. I think it's just the culture, is everything, is the fact that at least for me, this is what makes me proud, because I get the best of both worlds. Like, for me, and culture is like kind of like really important for our family.
Born in the Dominican Republic but raised in Harlem, it was a great experience, but then we also had cons that we had to experience as we transitioned from, when we first came from DR, we were living in the Lower East Side, so it was more of a Latino-based community. And when we moved to Harlem, we had to learn how to fit in. We had to learn how to fit in with people that actually look like us, but for whatever reason, these people, as per my experience, didn't treat me as part of being one of them. What I am proud of is today that I am able to blend the two and pretty much educate others on the lack of knowledge of what it is to really be an Afro Latino and to consider yourself a black person, although you are Latino.
Yeah, definitely.
Because we definitely come in so many different shades.
Exactly.
And what I'm also proud of, as far as my people and what we can contribute to the Afro Latino community, is that we incorporate African music and chants into our culture. So
pretty much, yeah.
It's not something that's really hidden. It's really out there.
I mean, even the food, you know, a lot of the foods we eat come from Africa.
Yeah, and pretty much our lifestyle.
And there's a lot of things that we have in common. So there are many times where I encounter certain Africans, and we pretty much do like the same thing. Like,
we have the same
mannerism. As far as mannerism, I'm like, wow, you know, this is something we do back home. So you kind of feel the connection. I think sometimes people deny certain things, and it's because the lack of knowledge. So that's pretty much what I try to teach people throughout my name, which I use because the reason why I use the Afro-Dominican was because a lot of my people back home pretty much deny they're African. But me using that name was pretty much letting them know, yes, I'm Afro Latina, but yes, I want you guys to be proud. I want to show you guys how proud I am of my African roots. Back home, we're only taught about the Native Indians and the Spaniards, but what about the Africans?
I recently was, I am a fan of history and stuff like that, so I was searching who was the first Dominican immigrant in the United States. And the first Dominican immigrant, he came in like, I don't know, like maybe like 1812, I'm not really sure, but it was in the early 1800s. And what I found out about him was that he was born in Santo Domingo, but he was half Portuguese and he was half, I think, of like Sierra Leone and stuff like that. And he was actually the first Dominican that established himself here as an immigrant.
I think it's very important that videos like this are kind of, produced, because like I said before, a lot of people deny certain things and it's because of the lack of knowledge. I think it's time that schools teach like the history the way it's supposed to be taught, and not just bury like everything entirely, because they're only teaching us what they want us to know, but there's a lot of rich history that needs to be exposed. One of the reasons why I decided to do the ancestry DNA testing was because, not that I didn't know I didn't have my African ancestry, I just wanted to know like where and from what part of Africa my ancestors were stripped from, and it was very touching because I just thought about all the things that they had to endure. Coming out of there, like transitioning to a new, island, learning a new language and adapting to like all these new rules. So as you can see, this is like a blended, it just like shows, it just shows like the beauty of being Afro Latino. I want everyone to know that this is who we are and our diversity.
And we're beautiful, and we are
strong women.
Strong. And we embrace every single race that lives within us.
That is correct.
And it's a lot.
We're all brothers, we're all one, so we need to get past all that ignorance, and once you learn,
show love.
Once you educate yourself and become aware of who you really are, you're gonna really understand the beauty of all of this. And I think a lot of us need to continue spreading this, the word.
It can be a little, I was talking to Bonnie one time and we went through a lot, because here we are, these black Latinas, and at one point it just felt like we wanted to fit in both sides, like I want to fit in with the Dominican and then I also want to fit in with the African American, and it was really hard because it's like, okay, you look black, but once you open your mouth, they're like, oh, well, you're Spanish, and no, I'm not Spanish. It's a big difference. I speak Spanish, but Spanish people are from Spain. We just, I feel like I see myself as a black woman that speaks Spanish. You can't even tell that I speak Spanish until I open my mouth.
Being Latinos, growing up in Harlem, it was hard. Whenever we mixed with the Dominicans that were more into, just embracing the Dominican Latino side, it was like we were too black for Dominicans, and then we were too Dominicans
for the blacks.
So
it was hard to
try to balance that out. And fortunately now, once you get to know yourself, it gets way easier, where you're just like, you fit in where you're accepted.
Just be yourself,
Just be yourself, love yourself, do your research, and learn more about the Afro Latino.
And and you know what? Think before you speak,
Spanish people are from Spain.
Spanish people are Spaniards. I'm not Spaniard.
I speak Spanish.
But that doesn't make us Spaniards.
No, we're not Spanish. We're not Spanish.
We were not born in Spain.
We're Spanish-speaking black people.
As time goes by, I think little by little, a lot of people are realizing, the truth and if everything for what it really is. It's a good, amazing time to be alive.
Yes, it is.
And sharing with other people. We're also doing this. So like if you're watching and maybe you're in some other parts of the world and you feel the same way, like you can't relate with us, you know, and know that you're not alone. That there's other people around the world that feel the same way. Or if you see this in the future, you know, like
we were here, we existed, and again, trying to spread a little bit of knowledge of who we are and what we stand for. So
and what we're proud of.
yes,
And we also, you know, think about it, like a lot of our history has been lied as well. Like all of our heroes have been Europeanized. You know, they don't really tell us, you know, they don't want us to see black heroes in Dominican Republic. A lot of the black heroes that we sing about in our national anthem were black, but they have white pictures on them. And, you know, the truth is hidden everywhere because blackness is around the globe. It's just not in America.
We're
you know
everywhere.
what I'm saying? Blackness is everywhere, you know, and they separate us in so many different ways and we're so against each other. How about we unite? Imagine if we actually united. Just love, you know.
peace and love.
Peace and love, you know.
Love.
To unify.
And learn your history, okay?
Absolutely.
Learn your history.
The true history, the shit
And if
that
you're
they
a
tell
girl,
you.
learn your her story. Okay?
Learn the things they actually didn't teach us. Reverse what they taught you.
Yes.
Love you guys.